30 years down the road, we are supposed to be better in terms of human development. So why is it that the quality is worse and disappointing? What has gone wrong? And I'm sure people have watched. If you look at the debate in the Constituent Assembly, if we brought to the Constituent Assembly men and women today and pressed them back to Parliament, this country would skyrocket. The first world nation, I have no doubt. I remember the words of Honorable Apakaburo, the late, when he was in Kenya sharing about the experience of the 1995 constitution making process. He stated that unless Ugandans disrupt themselves, but with this constitution, Uganda should be a first world nation after 20 years. We are now celebrating or commemorating 30 years. Are we a first world nation? So how come that the vision and hopes of the likes of the late Wapakabro can't be realized? How can we as a people, our illiteracy rates have gone, we are almost at 80%, very educated, very many people, we are healthy, living longer. Why is it that we have a lower and a more degenerating quality of leadership as compared to where we were at 30 years? How can we develop in reverse in terms of leadership? What is it? What is the problem? Why is it that we have a quality of members of parliament that have no capacity to protect the constitution? And yet their key function is protecting the constitution. But do they have the capacity? How many MPs can you ask to cite 5 articles of the constitution or even know where to find them? Because the best person, it's not cramming the law. At least do they know where to find it? How many? I don't think they go beyond 50. So why is it that we produce this quality of leadership? The third missing gap is the people. Article 4 of the Constitution provided that the Constitution be translated and taught to citizens in their local languages. I know that there was a first translation of the Constitution. I've landed on a copy in Ateso. I haven't got the Runyankore version, which is my language. Few copies were made. Translations in 8 key languages were made. But has anybody of us ever seen the distribution of these copies to our communities? Has there been any effort 30 years down the road to sensitize the people? How can the people, whose duty is to protect the Constitution, protect what they don't know? That's impossible. So that's the third missing link on why the Constitution has not served its purpose. So when you go to the journey we've walked, of course there are few achievements. You have a framework. I think the Constitution works only where the powers deem it to work. Let's look at the simple aspects of fundamental rights and freedoms. Article 23. When you go to arrest a person, introduce yourself, inform the person of the crime they are suspected of committing, tell their next of kin where they are going to be detained, allow access of family, doctors, lawyers, produce them in court within 48 hours. It's the most abused provision in this country, to the extent that we have abductions, we have enforced disappearances, we have people we cannot account for, and we detain people beyond the mandatory hours, mandatory days. You have the case of Besigye abducted from Kenya. 30 years down the road, you abduct your senior leaders across border. Besigye left Uganda a few hours because he didn't spend even in Nairobi 2 hours. He was in his home. Everybody knows where he stays. He reaches Kenya. He's abducted, goes missing, incommunicado for 2 days. Then news start coming from Kenya. Why is it that we cannot respect simple basics of the Constitution. When you go to the question, and it's good we have the principal legal advice of government, there is a troubling case in the IG's office and corruption court and regarding a register of land titles. Interdicted by the IG, he takes plea in a criminal case. The standing orders are very clear, public service standing orders. Once you're charged in court, you are automatically interdicted until your court is done with your case. A directive comes from the president. Why did you remove a register of titles? Reinstate. Then you have a permanent secretary reinstating a register of titles. Who has taken a criminal stand in a criminal case in anti-corruption court, interdicted by IG? He's now in office. So are we implementing the Constitution and the laws of Uganda? We are not.
Honorable Wandera, when you hear, especially having been part of the Constitution, the formation of this Constitution, but also hearing the young people that spoke to us, bliss of what is happening with this Constitution, if you went back in hindsight with what you know now, what would you do different?
You see,